Hello, everybody. This is Julie D from Nordonia Hills.News, and I'm talking today to Julie Matthews. Welcome, Julie.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, so you've been like right under my nose here. You're in Sagamore Hills, and you have some classes that people could sign their kids up at the Massaroni Rec Center. Why don't you tell everybody what your classes are?
So, I've been teaching acting to kids for 40 years, and I've mostly done it through theaters, theater programs, community theaters, and their youth theater programs. So, it's been a lot of stage and performance on stage. But I'm an acting coach and I work in movies and television. So, I have I developed many years ago an on-camera acting program. My on-camera um, directing technique, was actually featured on 60 Minutes with my buddy Paul Peterson from the Donna Reed Show, and I was, kind of celebrated for my ability to direct screen tests. So, therefore, I like to teach on camera acting, which is it's a more intensive acting workshop because it's focusing on the actual craft of camera acting, which is way different than stage acting. So if you're in a play, let's say you have a kid and he's in a play or she's in a play, she's doing stage acting, which is so much different than if she were going to be in a movie or on a TV show. You've got a camera right here in your face and a boom mic right here and lights and a director and a whole crew in front of you, 3 feet away from you, and you
And
have
many
to,
takes.
yeah, and you have to start acting. And so it's just a different technique and it's more real, in my opinion. It's a much more, it's a much better way to learn the craft of acting because it looks like real acting. So I have kids in a program that we work on scenes from TV shows and movies. The kids in the last year have wanted to do scenes from Stranger Things, which we do, but I have to clean them up, which I do. And they're having a lot of fun doing that. And right now we have a on-camera acting class for kids 7 to 17 doing scenes from movies, from Christmas movies. So we're doing Elf and A Christmas Story, which, by the way, was my first movie that I ever worked on. So I did casting for A Christmas Story.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was my first movie. So we do scenes from Christmas Story, Elf, The Santa Claus, Home Alone, all the classic favorite Christmas films. So these kids get a chance to, feel like they're in a movie. And we do the classes at the rec center. And then at the end of the 6-week class, we actually go to a television studio facility if parents want to do that. It's an additional charge because they're going to make a demo of what they've done in class, and they actually get to be in a television studio in front of a camera with a real director and real lights and real boom mics and the real camera, and they're right there being directed by a director, and they are getting to take home their scene. So for every Christmas for the rest of their life, before they watch Elf and A Christmas Story and the Santa Claus, they can show their scene to their family because they'll have it forever. So
Now, do you put these videos up for the public to see, or is it more shared with the students?
for who to see?
Would it be out in the public so people could see what the students did last year?
Uh, I've had some parents post their demos on their Facebook
But I'm just
pages.
saying you don't. It's more of like up to the parents.
Yeah, because it's yours.
Right.
You've paid for it and it's your demo. And
Mhm.
I mean, I could ask permission from the parents and I'm sure they'd say yes.
I think that would be a lot of fun to see, what some
Yeah,
students have done
yeah,
before.
sure. So yeah, maybe we'll do that. That'd be a good
That would
idea.
be great.
Mhm.
So people can get an idea of what it's
Right.
like.
So we're starting next Wednesday, the 16th of November, and we're going through the third Wednesday in December, the Wednesday before Christmas. And it's just going to be it's a very fun thing to do during the holidays. If you love acting or you just want to try it, or you love Christmas movies and, you want to pretend like you're in one, this is a good place to do it.
I think for kids, it's a great opportunity for them to try things,
Mhm.
because this is, between 7 and 17, are formative years, and a lot of kids don't have any idea what they're interested in. And until they try it, they're not going to really know. And you give them a little glimpse of what it would be like.
That's right. That's exactly what they get. So I had a mom who called me um, about 6 months ago, and she said, "My son is 7. He's never done any acting. He's never done anything in school. He hasn't been in a play. He's never done anything, but he's a ham bone. He's a ham bone around the house.
Right.
He loves to watch movies and he loves, to watch, Disney movies, and he acts all of them out in the living room, and he knows all the lines, and I think he's a natural. So I'd like to try to get him into your program just to see if this is something we should pursue for him." And when I've gotten that call a lot of times,
Mhm.
but it doesn't necessarily, and this mom said, "I think he's got a lot of talent, but you know, I don't know anything about acting, so I don't know if that's really true. I just know that he entertains us." So I've gotten that comment a lot of times. So I always say, "Well, bring him in. Let's try him out. Let's see how he does." And, this kid, oh my gosh, if he was in Hollywood or even in Atlanta, which is only 11 hours away, he'd be a movie star because he's just that great. He's that great. He listens to direction, he takes direction well. He is a natural and he's really good at it, but you're not going to know that as a parent until you try it and see how they do.
So does he come back every year?
He comes back every week. I have him
Oh.
every week. And this Sunday, we're all going into the studio. We're finishing up this class that we've had since summer, and we're going in to do our Christmas scenes this Sunday. So,
Wow. Yeah,
yeah,
if you ever get permission from anybody to share any of the students, I think, their work, I think that would be very beneficial to other people. Like, oh, wow,
sure.
I wonder if I could do that too.
Oh, no, I know these parents will say yes to that. There's no reason why they shouldn't. So, yeah, be
Exactly.
a good idea.
Wow, that's really cool. So tell me more about your background. Were you involved in a show in Cleveland?
Um, I I've been doing movies since A Christmas Story, 1982. And I was with the state of Ohio as a casting director for many years. So whenever a movie came to Cleveland, they'd call me to do casting. And I did a television show from 1986 to 1991 called Cleveland Rocks, where
That's the one I was thinking of.
we interviewed every rock star that ever came to Cleveland in those 6 years. And we were backstage at the Coliseum and at Blossom and the front row and everywhere. And the only people we did not interview that came to Cleveland were some of the stars that don't do interviews when they're on tour,
Mhm.
because they'll lose their voice because every city they go to, if they did interviews and they're talking all day, they would lose their voice. So they save their voices, and a lot of them don't talk during show days.
That makes sense.
That's Madonna, Michael Jackson, who else? Madonna, Michael Jackson, Billy Joel. There were a couple others that we didn't never got to interview because of that. But
Mhm.
other than that, I mean, we interviewed some really big people, and it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun doing that. We got to do REO Speedwagon. the REO Speedwagon was the reason I started the show, was because I just wanted to meet them. I was like, how can I meet REO Speedwagon? Well, I guess I have to do a TV show and interview them. So I started the show and we did it for 6 years. And it wasn't until well into our 3rd year that REO was actually coming to Cleveland that we got to interview them. And by that time, we had learned that some of these rock bands were, egomaniacs and jerks. And, many of them were very humble and beautiful and just real down to earth people. So when we were going to do REO, I was like, oh, I just hope they're the good ones and they're not the bad ones, because I'll be so disappointed. And they ended up being like the best band we ever did on the show ever. So that was kind of fun. That was a fun experience. And then, I've been teaching acting and I produce all the time. I produce a singing competition that goes all over. I was hosted a photogenic baby contest we did in 21 cities throughout the year. All of this for Children's Miracle Network hospitals. So these were all fundraising events.
And didn't you raise a large amount for them?
$5.5 million.
That's amazing.
And and we're still doing it. So we have a singing competition coming up in Cleveland in December, the first 3 Mondays in December, at a new spot called the Xmas Bar. And it's a Christmas themed bar down in the Flats with its own parking lot. So there's no problem with going to the Flats because you got your own parking lot right next to the building. And you're going to be singing Christmas songs, and you can enter the contest. It's $25. And then you want to bring your family and friends to the competition, to this wonderful Christmas bar atmosphere on a Monday evening. What else are you doing in December on a Monday night? Go down to the Christmas bar and enjoy the atmosphere of listening to some fantastic singers and just sucking in that, it's like being in a Hallmark movie. So,
well, you may not know this, but we have a diner that's going to be opening in this area. It's a Merry Little Diner in Norfolk Village. They took over Peggy's Lunchbox, and it's going to be Christmas all year round there.
Really? I didn't know that.
They haven't opened
yet. Every day. How fun is that?
Yeah, they're hoping to open by Christmas, so we'll see.
It's going to be a 365-day Christmas.
Yeah, diner? Breakfast and lunch.
Christmas.
Just simple food, but yeah, it's like, if you bring an ornament and you get 10% off, and they'll hang it from the ceiling.
How fun is that?
So you have a little bit of that here in town, but that singing competition sounds really cool. I'll put a link to your website down in the description. And then I know the rec center has your event on their site, the macrec.com. I'll put a link to that as well.
Right.
So what else you have going? Probably already have something in the pipeline maybe that you haven't even announced yet.
Well, I have, but it's sold out, so I can't. I don't want to really promote it too hard but I can, because we're going to do others throughout the year. This isn't the only one, but my significant other has been Michael Stanley's guitar player for 40 years, Danny Powers, and he is currently playing with a MSB tribute called In the Heartland, and he's their special guest. And In the Heartland plays all of the Michael Stanley band music the way MSB played it in their heyday. And so Danny's really enjoying playing with them. So we have a very wonderful event at the Music Box on December 4th called I'm Wishing for a Cleveland Christmas. And it celebrates everything Christmas growing up in Cleveland. If you grew up in Cleveland in the 60s, and you went downtown to see Mr. Jingling, and you went to Halley's 7th Floor to see Santa Claus, or you went to the Twigby shop to see the Twigby shop elves. We bring all of that back to the Music Box on December 4th. Mr. Jingling will be there handing out the magic key. Halley's Santa Claus will be there, so you can get a photo with Santa Claus. And the Twigby shop elves will be at the door handing out door prizes. And And then the band opening is my band, the Pop Tarts. We're one of the most popular bands in Cleveland. We sing all 60s girl group music. And everything from It's My Party, I'll Cry If I Want to, Supremes, and we do all the 60s girl groups. We wear go-go boots and mini skirts, and we're opening with our Christmas set. We do holiday songs that were done by the Ronettes and by the Shirelles, and our own record. We put out our own Christmas album with original Christmas music. So we'll be singing songs from our record, and that will be opening. And then the headliner is MSB's In the Heartland. So that's
Wow, that's great. You've been in other cover bands too, right?
I have.
I saw on your IMDb page that you did Tuxedo Junction, which is
That
a
was a while
Manhattan
ago.
Transfer. I
Yeah.
love Manhattan Transfer.
Yeah. Yes, we did that quite a while ago. But yes, that was fun.
Did you ever meet anybody from Manhattan Transfer?
No, no, we just sang around town, We were a local band. Actually, two of the members lived right in Northfield Village, so
Oh my gosh, all these people right in town. I have no idea.
I know.
That's amazing. Is there anything else? I definitely think we're gonna have to, do some more of these talks about things. I think we're just scratching the surface. But was there anything else that you wanted to talk about today?
Well, I really just want to reach out to parents that have 7 to 17-year-olds, because I do this on-camera acting class in Aurora, and Aurora has that class is almost full, but it still has a few spots left on the Saturday class. The Monday class is full, but the Saturday afternoon, it's 11. I think it's 11 in the morning till 12:30. That class is not full yet. So, if anybody's out in Twinsburg or Aurora and wants to do that one on Saturday, but then our Macedonia classes at the rec center on Wednesdays from 4:30 to 6. And I do one in Brecksville on Tuesdays from 5:30 to 7. So if you're in Brecksville, Macedonia, or Aurora, anywhere along Route 82, I'm not going to Parma. Just kidding. But so all along Route 82, we have classes. So if you're in that area and you have a 7 to 17-year-old that wants to, try their hand at film acting, television acting, it's a fun class to do, and certainly is open to beginners.
Well, that's wonderful. I love how you're, teaching the next group of performers. We always think of our kids as always kids, but they're going to be the adults,
Well, the
the
cool
future.
thing about what I do, and why, you should work with me over somebody else, is because our company, Marquee Showcase Productions, we have a website called marqueeshowcase.com. And if you go to Marquee Showcase, we have events called Perform It Forward. And the reason it's called Perform It Forward, like our singing competition that's coming up in December, is called Perform It Forward, looking for Cleveland's singing star. The reason we call it that is because the participants are performing it forward, in that they are helping to raise money for Rainbow Babies and Children's Hospital. And we are performing them forward by helping them move forward in their career. So we are moving them forward. So in a few years back, we had one of our winners that was so good. Because I'm a casting director, we have relationships. So I called New York City, the casting director that does all the Broadway shows. And I said to her, Tara, you've got to see this girl. She just won. She wasn't our actual winner. She was actually she was second place.
Mm-hmm.
She was one of our winners in a competition we held in Cleveland. And this girl belongs in Phantom of the Opera. You have to see her.
Wow.
Because she just belongs in Phantom of the Opera. And I know if you see her, you'll agree with me. And so she said, all right, well, send me her package. The package is the demo, which
Mhm.
is why going into these, I take all my, we take the singing, people that are interested in singing. We take them into a professional recording studio. We take them to Beechwood Studios, which is, really world famous recording studio right here in Cleveland, and record them a demo so that they have that. And we take them to a professional television production facility to make them a demo so that they have that, so that when I call a casting director and say, you've got to see them, and they say, okay, send me her package, I
Mhm.
have a package. We have it. So I can immediately send her an email as soon as I have the conversation. She's got the email. And within 2 weeks, she called me back and said, I want to see that girl. So she called me on a Tuesday at 5 o'clock and said, I want to see her tomorrow. I said, okay, she'll be there.
Wow.
So Kaylee and her father got in the car, jumped in the car. They were from Aurora. They went to New York. She auditioned. Within a week, they called her back to audition for the director. She went to the Majestic Theater in New York, where Phantom of the Opera has been playing for like, I don't know how many years, a long
Mhm.
time. And she auditioned for everybody. They taped her, and the following Friday, she got the job, and she played Christine, the leading role in Phantom of the Opera, for 5 years. And that's
Wow.
how we performed her forward, and we managed her, and I negotiated her contracts, and she's making a lot of money and starring on Broadway in Phantom of the Opera. And
Well, it can't be that.
she did that for 5 years. So this is the beauty of working with us, is that, we have the connections to help somebody if they want to expand their career and they really want to do it. I mean, I tell parents, just do it for fun and for confidence building. You know, kids that are taking an acting class, it helps them build confidence like you wouldn't believe. So if they're shy or they just need to feel better about themselves, this is a really good thing to do. And then on the other hand, if you're really very focused on doing it as a career, we can help you do that. We help you put your package together, help you build your resume, help you make your demos, and show you what to do with them so you can get some jobs and get some work
What
outside.
about what about people that are older, any age?
The only reason I don't, the only reason I say 7 to 17 is because that's who takes the class.
Mhm.
I would love to have adults. Any adults out there that want to take this class, please, please register for it. Because if scenes in movies always have adults and kids, so I could just pick different scenes. I pick scenes with all kids in them, but I can pick scenes for them to do with adults, the mom, the dad, the kids. So on a real movie set or a real television set, you're always having adults with children working together. So we
Okay.
can definitely do that. And I'd love to have some adults. We just don't
Awesome.
put it in the program because, like I said, I don't have a lot of adults doing it, but yeah, would love to do it.
Well, no, maybe no one ever asked them. Maybe they never had the opportunity or didn't know about it.
Offered it to adults. They just don't sign up for it because, people are like, well, I'm already doing my thing. I'm already a school teacher. I'm already a secretary. I already work in a dentist's office, so, I'm not, going off to become a movie star, but
I don't know. I think a lot of people just quit those jobs you just mentioned because
yeah,
now
right.
they're
It's
looking
still
for
fun.
people.
Yeah, it's still fun. I mean, I think people should pursue at least experimenting with it because it's fun.
Exactly. Well, thank you for taking the time to talk with us today.
Sure, my pleasure.
I look
Thanks for
forward to
having me.
future discussions.
Thanks for having me, and we'll talk again soon.
All right. Thanks, Julie.
Thank you, Julie. Bye-bye.